Hey swim peeps, it's Craig from Endurance Swimming. We're located at liquidtri.com, liquidtri.com. I'm coming at you today with a quick marathon swim tip about goggles. So the reason I'm going to talk to you guys today about goggles, in particular open water swim goggles, is because I had a really bad experience my very first marathon swim. It was a 16-mile open water swim in Florida. I was new to the sport. I didn't have many resources available to me. This was probably when YouTube was starting out, so we didn't have videos like this to kind of get more info on swimming, or marathon swimming in particular. And it was a pretty small community at the time that I had not really known too much about, especially because I was still in college. I think I was a freshman or a sophomore. So I learned the hard way that pool goggles don't necessarily work for open water swims. I went into that swim in Florida, and I wore my Swedes because all I've ever worn in competitive swimming were Swedes. And they're great goggles for the pool or short open water swims or triathlons if you're leading. Not necessarily if you're in the pack with triathlon, because if you get hit in the face, they hurt. But if you're familiar with Swedes, you know they have no padding. So your face forms to them, not the other way around. And the reason this is a problem in marathon swimming, particularly in saltwater, is your face swells. So not in hour one, but as you approach hour 3, 4, 5, even 6 or 10, and you're in saltwater, your eye sockets or orbitals are going to swell. Your cheeks will get puffy, your brow's going to get puffy, and if you're wearing Swedes like this, your brow and your cheek are going to start coming over the edge of the goggles if the swelling is bad. This makes for a very painful day. So in saltwater, there's also the issue of chafing. So for me, my face swelled, like I looked like I was in a boxing match, and my eye sockets started to swell, the goggles got tighter and tighter, and I ended up getting really bad chafing and cuts under my eye and on my eyelid because I only brought Swedes and I didn't know any better. So I was hoping to let you all know, quick tip, especially this is more for people transitioning from triathlon or pool swimming into more marathon swims, especially in the salt water. So hopefully you don't make that mistake where you're like, oh, I've always worn Swedes or goggles with no padding, so I'm going to use those. So what I use now, and this is what I use, I'm not sponsored, I just like them. I use the Nest Pro. I like them because they have padding, but it's rubber, so it really helps create a seal in the eye so that they don't leak. But the best part about this is that when my face swells, they still fit me. So from the first minute I get into swim to the 12th or 13th hour of a swim, these still fit. And that's great because that means they are adjusting to my face as it changes. But they work for me. They have a wider eye, so they allow for that. I have a good, range of motion with my vision. For me, they don't fog, but personally, these fit my face and they adjust to my face when I swell. So when you are making the jump from pool swimming to open water swimming, consider the length of your swim and if there is going to be facial swelling, because if there is, that's one thing you need to think about when you purchase your open water swimming goggles. And you might need to purchase several pairs to figure out what those goggles are. So for me, I'm lucky enough where I can wear these from start to finish of a swim. The only reason I'm changing a goggle is due to conditions. So when I do a marathon swim, I bring 6 goggles with me, 2 with the clear lenses, 2 with the mirrored lenses, and 2 with the smoke lenses, because you could lose one pair in a wave or during a feed or something if you take them off. One of them might be malfunctioning, so you want to have lots of backups. So when I am swimming at night, or partly cloudy conditions or cloudy conditions that aren't really, there's no glare, it's not making me squint, I'll go with clear. If it is a little bit brighter but the sun's not in my face, I'll go with the smoke because it just takes away some of the need to squint. It removes some of the glare. And if I'm swimming directly into the sun, I go with the mirrored. These are all Nest Pro models. It's just different lenses. I do find that the Tiers polarized are superior to most of the other brands I've tested, only because when I look at the sun, it keeps the sun around the sun, so there's no glare coming off of it. So if I accidentally look at it, it doesn't blind me for a few seconds. It keeps the sun there, it doesn't hurt my eyes, I can see exactly where I'm going when I need to sight. So that's the big tip. When you do a marathon swim, your face is going to swell, so you need to find goggles that are going to adjust for that facial swelling, or you might need to find several goggles. So you might start your first hour of the swim in Swedes, and then you might switch to Tier and then to the Nest Pro, and then you may need Speedo for the next few hours, and then you may need an Aquasphere, which is almost like a mask for the last few hours, depending on your swelling. But only you are going to know that. And another problem I've run into with adult swimmers is they can't find any goggle that fits their face. And the reason for this is because their bridge is really small, their eyes are closer together, so they actually need a junior goggle. So if you are struggling to find goggles that fit really well and are comfortable, you might want to consider looking at a junior size goggle instead. So I know tons of adults now who use those junior goggles because they finally figured out, oh yeah, like the lenses on these are just too big and it just lets too much water in. Or the nose bridge is too far and they don't make a setting small enough. So these are things to consider when you're buying your next pair of open water goggles. But just really consider how long you're going to be in the water for one swim, and what do you think the swelling is going to be. Because if you're in fresh water, it won't be that bad. If you're in California or Florida or the Strait of Gibraltar or English Channel, the salinity is different in all of those swims. Some you're going to swell way more than you're used to, and others you're not going to swell that much. So these are things that as you break into the marathon swimming world, you need to be thinking about, okay, I'm going to swell, there's a lot more salt. How am I going to adjust my goggles for that potential obstacle? So hopefully you found today helpful, and hopefully you don't have to find out the hard way about this tip where your face is going to swell. So find goggles that will, I guess, grow as your face swells. For more videos, subscribe to our page. We're going to be having videos coming out every week. And then every Wednesday I post free workouts on our blog for Workout Wednesday. So check out our blog at liquidchai.com. And if you have any other tips relating to goggles or facial swelling, throw them in the comments, and let's make this a really good resource for new marathon swimmers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.